morning. Forgive me. Before we start, I want us to go outside. Just outside the... Let me take this opportunity to welcome you and also thank you for taking the time to actually come for this morning breakfast. This is the breakfast session. And if you remember, in January at Aviando, there was a request that because we all work from home now and then, and we don't get to interact and get together now and then, so it would be helpful if we have maybe a couple of sessions together. And I know you asked for quarterly, but unfortunately time got. So this will be 3, and we did the one in January, so this is June. And then hopefully before the end of the year, we'll be able to do a bigger 2-day session that will allow us also to also reflect on the things that we've been doing this year, where we are, but also plan for 2024. So it becomes very important that we do that. So this is basically as a result of the request, and I hope that you relax, take your time. We should be done by 12 at least, and then of course do other things. I also want to step out to welcome our guest, Mr. Trevor Hundi. I'm not sure whether you guys know him. Yeah, I'll give him a good round of applause. He's a well-known personality in the comedy space, but also the television space, and of course, acting. I don't know how many of you have seen the movie called, what's that movie called? How to Ruin Christmas. I don't know if you have seen that, How to Ruin Christmas. It's 1 and 2. No, I'll tell you one thing. The one thing that we don't do a lot is find time to laugh at ourselves. We're so busy making sure that Sylvester runs, we forget that ourselves we need to have a kind of reflection. So we need to get out there. I was just telling him, the last time I saw him was in Cape Town. So he was just, how do we do in Cape Town? I said, don't worry, we're just having fun talking. And also those of you who know Fanpa, you know already know Fanpa in Newton. You must go out there. They used to bring comedy, Pretoria, Protea, Fire and Ice. There used to be a lot of comedy on Friday and Saturday. They don't do it anymore. I was just talking to them, asking why not, because we can't be traveling to Newton all the time. So those in Newton are lucky, but yeah. So, but anyway, I was just saying that we thought that we would just quickly laugh a bit. We'll bring someone to do that for you. So it's not, we're not working today, but we also thought, hey, we can't just laugh, but there's some bit of work. It's 1 minute, 2 minutes. It's so important because we have, since 2018, I've been trying to get the institution to relook at. I got in here when the university was approving its delegation of authority. And I've done some before, put myself in trouble, and find that UNESA also had a challenge around delegation of authority. But of course, it took us since then to today where we are in terms of how we try and find a way of ensuring that the delegations are understood and done properly. So we've done a lot of work around that, and we have Mr. Morailane, who has been helping us do that. And we are in the process where we are presenting this to different committees of council with the intention that when council meet on the 23rd of June, we're able to have it approved. And then we can start a process of implementation with the intention to have it fully implemented in January 2024. Hey, time flies. Time flies. It was just January, we were talking in January, now it's June, soon we'll be talking in November. You know, I was laughing because one kid was asking why Ramaphosa is giving them a short holidays, school holidays, but they spend a lot of time in school. So it kept me thinking, as you grow older, the time gets shorter and shorter because you're more or less busy all the time, and you don't know when it's Monday. You think it's Monday today, by the time you know it, it's already Friday. And some of you wonder why you're always tired on Monday. I'm sure you know that. Why are you always tired on Monday? Because you work on Saturday and Sunday for the things that you can't do during the course of the week. And Monday morning you're like, why am I tired? And then you come and rest at work for 5 days. For 5 days. And then I need to run around. How's that? So, I had also tried, and we talk about this with the all the time, that she hadn't had time to engage with our portfolio to take into account that actually we are a portfolio in the office of the Vice Chancellor. I'm not sure how many of you understand that or know that. We're a portfolio in the office of the Vice Chancellor. So it is important that we engage a lot, but unfortunately also today, the events at the university made it impossible for her to be here. But what is important is that within the context of the direction the university is taking, you have been involved in the strategic development, providing support in the manner in which you're trying to ensure that there are the 10 priority areas, but also the extent possible that the niche areas are supported to ensure that we are able to achieve those things. We worked very hard last year to ensure the council approves the revised strategy that takes into account all these aspects. So I'm sure she was going to talk more about that in terms of where we're going, where we are, but also how we can continually support. The one thing that we haven't done properly, and it's a bit of a challenge, is a structure. Strategy, structure follows strategy. And we've done the strategy, but now we get hiccups around the issue of structure to support the strategy. Our structure doesn't necessarily have that kind of change, in the sense that the things we do, we continue to do them. So we're hoping that we're not going to have a lot of changes such. So that's one part. So hopefully today, but hopefully we'll have some time to do that. But the other thing that probably a lot of you worry about, and I'm sure this goes back 2020 when the minister appointed the task team, ministerial task team, to look at the affairs of the university, made drastic recommendations. But of course, those recommendations could not be implemented simply because the task team did not have the regulatory authority to make those recommendations. And the minister decided to appoint an independent assessor, Professor Kevin Musia, who started in September last year, completed his work, I think it was in March. And we know now that he has submitted his report to the minister, and the minister has asked our council to respond. And that response was due on Friday. And unfortunately, this is a very funny place. Everything you say here is probably out there in the media already. It's a fact. I mean, I've seen it happen in that we get to a council meeting to discuss a report, and the report is already circulating outside the university, and they're wondering, wow, how did that happen? How did that happen? But of course, those things do happen. So there are serious matters that the university needs to deal with, some of which in the report, and I'm sure if you read the report properly, you pick up that there are areas of concern. And I think this is the starting point Council comes to say, well, in as much as there are challenges, but some of these may not necessarily in the context of how the process for the assessor went through. So it is important that you think about that. But it is the minister's prerogative as to whether he finally appoints an administrator of the institution. So I have to look for a job at some point. So I'm getting ready for that. So the thing is, the university operates until such time that something different happens. At this point in time, we all have a responsibility to ensure that we do what we normally do in order to ensure that this university goes forward. You all know, and I'm sure it's all over, celebrating 150 years, and the fallacy around it is that this thing happens at a time when really we should be celebrating. And the question is, how then do we find ourselves in a way that we are able to appreciate the role of this university in the 150 years today, and probably even in the next coming 150 years. The question that we should be asking ourselves, our kids, grandkids, and their grandkids, and ask and say, what did you guys do? What did you do? And yeah, those are the things. And imagine UNISA being the institution in South Africa that has managed to give birth to all universities in South Africa. All of them. Royal City, all of them. And the leader in the distance education space, not just in South Africa, but the world. We talk about Open University today. It's not as old as UNISA. It's a new university. So we, as UNISA, are the innovators of the distance education. So sometimes I sit and think of the challenges that our students face, and I'm like, with all these years of history and development, why is it that we struggle to support our students? Just yesterday, I was just listening to someone not lamenting, but just giving me a sense of how they feel when something happens that as students find themselves not able to, they're paralyzed. They're writing an exam, and then there's a problem. But you have to get out of the exam to get to find support in order for you to get back to your exam. I mean, most of it is what I loading, the work and so on. So the person is asking a simple question. So if you guys risk, you know the risk of writing exams online, why don't you put this other link in there so that if I have a problem, I can just switch, get into the link and upload my stuff. But you have to get out in order to get that kind of support. So it's a simple thing. But when you think about it, you realize how then students panic during exams. That's because our system probably are not structured in a way that are helpful to them. And so that's one of the things that I think student support. Some of you probably were in CSIR when I said, think about it. At UNISA, we used to have one point of call for students support, learner support. And all of a sudden, our support system is decentralized, which we encourage. But within the context of that, it creates a problem because Nobody knows when to respond to a student, because I'm thinking, oh, no, the lady is going to respond. Oh, so it's also going to respond. You know, and somewhere in the middle of things get lost, and then the students suffer. So we have proposed, I'm sure you know, in the strategy, we put in a pillar there that says student support for that particular purpose. And we do hope that we'll be able to achieve that. I think I talked too much. I was going to say things that were done, but then I remember that we did a video. We did a video, so I'll stop here and then ask our media, multimedia team to actually help us to sort of screen that in about 10 minutes or so. Just to look. And I looked at it and I realized that actually we need to work on it, and part of the things that we want to do, look at it, help us improve it, so that next time we do this, we are able to make it a university product that can be used in any function anywhere in the university. So please do so. So I'm going to stop here, but thank you very much for coming, and well, so thank you very much for thinking of this idea that now and then we get together, but also for coming to this session. Can I request for the video? Okay, thank you.
Good day. I'm Professor Kevin Dodu, the Vice Principal responsible for strategy, risk, and advisory services. Our portfolio is responsible for strategy development and innovation, which includes planning, but also we are responsible for risk management of the institution and ensuring that the university is compliant with the laws, regulations, and policies. We provide Good day. I'm Professor Kevin Dodu, the Vice Principal responsible for strategy, risk, and advisory investigations, policy development, and contract development. But also, we're responsible for quality assurance in the context of the university. Our portfolio is also responsible for the management or program management for all programs that are funded by the university and also the Department of Higher Education and Training. Our team includes Professor Lalende, who is responsible for quality assurance.
Hi colleagues, my name is Lumbile Lalende, Executive Director responsible for quality assurance and enhancement at the university. 3 departments that are involved here: institutional quality assurance, project management office, and sustainability monitoring and evaluation.
Good day. I'm Professor Kevin Dodu, Vice Principal responsible for strategy, risk, and advisory services. Our portfolio is responsible for strategy development and innovation, which includes planning, but also we are responsible for risk management of the institution and ensuring that the university is compliant with the laws, regulations, and policies. We provide advisory services in terms of mitigations, policy development, and contract development. But also, we're responsible for quality assurance in the context of the university. Our portfolio is also responsible for the management or program management for all programs that are funded Bayu University, and also the Department of Higher Education and Training. Our team includes Professor Lalende, who is responsible for quality assurance.
Hi, colleagues. My name is Lumpile Lalende, Executive Director responsible for quality assurance and enhancement university. 3 departments that are involved here: institutional quality assurance, project management office, and sustainability monitoring and evaluation. Purpose of this engagement is to share my experiences with my staff and also about the university great work that we have done in the past few years, coordinating institutional audits, looking at issues of sustainability across the university, the campus works, the wetlands, and then also monitoring university performance. In the PMO space, we work on the COVID response grant and also all other grants that the university gets. We're delighted that we've been given this opportunity to serve UNISA and also the South African community in a professional fashion, because I've really enjoyed working with my staff who are professional, also paying attention to detail, and I think for me it's been a great experience to work with these kind of colleagues and professionals that have been given at the university, and we've always been given appropriate support and resources in this management. I think as we reach 150 years, we want to say this is a moment of pause for us and to thank all those that have been part of this process. Thank you.
Professor Fitch, who is responsible for legal services.
Good morning, colleagues. My name is Boyo Martinez Fitch. I'm the head of Legal Services Department, the department which looks at protecting the university as far as the legal matters are concerned. This is one of the largest universities in Africa. It has 4 subdivisions. 1 is litigation, 2 is contract, 3 is policies, 4 is investigations. One of the achievements of the department is to bring order to the university, is to promote good governance, is to look at the compliance of the university with all the laws of the country, in particular the Constitution and the Higher Education Act and related statutes. One of the biggest tasks of the university is to look at the policies and review the policies as the university is governed by the policies, and the university as well deals with the contracts for various services which the university provides. And the university now is moving to a new contracting system, which the department was tasked by the management of the university to look at the converting from the current system where the contract owners are the person who are looking at the projects or contracts, which are, we call them project managers. What the university aims to achieve is to have the contracts from the starting of the contract, then we have a contract in place. That's what I want to explain is that legal matters fall under what we call litigation. The department is celebrating 150 years. What the Department of Legal Services wants to achieve
intelligence. Contextual intelligence provides research through sector trend analysis, benchmarking related research, including obtaining employers' perspectives. Analytical intelligence provides understanding.
Thank you.
Dr. Mulabo, responsible for institutional intelligence.
Good day, my name is Matsibiso Mulabo and I'm the Executive Director of the Department of Institutional Intelligence in the portfolio Strategy, Risk and Advisory Services. Our department is mandated to support institutional decision-making processes through evidence-based research, provide stakeholders with the required information, and also to support institution-wide planning and reporting in line with the institutional integrated planning framework to ensure strategic and operational planning across the institution. We also are mandated with ensuring that universities' statutory obligations are met by providing stakeholders with a high-quality, relevant, easily accessible, and up-to-date information and analysis. Digital transformation is one of the favored innovative approaches to enhancing an organization's diverse services and processing. Student work and staff data at a glance dashboards are easily accessible on our business intelligence platform, Unintelligence, which is a single entry point for all the institutions' official reporting. Data analytic briefing reports and survey reports are at your disposal for you to plan and make critical evidence-based decisions in your space. We provide UNISA with vital insights into the student and staff issues intelligence. Contextual intelligence provides research through sector trend analysis, benchmarking related research, including obtaining employers' perspectives. Analytical intelligence provides understanding of UNISA student and staff policies, including policy analysis research. Lastly, DII is at your doorstep to support and help you succeed while you plan your strategic targets, execute, and report. As we celebrate UNISA, I would like to say we have been here for 150 years, and we are looking forward to another 150 years of supporting evidence-based decision-making and planning. Thank you.
And lastly, this Nomoro is responsible for risk and compliance.
My name is Ipara Mamabubu, Executive Director, Risk and Compliance. We just here to talk about the 150 years that the UNISA has achieved. With that, we're looking at beyond that 150 now. As a department, we are saying we compare ourselves to the people, because the people, when it grows up, it changes. We decide whether to die or to change. As Risk and Compliance, we are deciding to change. And how are we going to change? We are going to be the best that we have ever been before. I don't want to go, but what I'm going to say is that as a department, we have achieved and we have won 4 awards from IMSA. Those awards from IMSA, we won because we were the best in the industry. We won for the education industry. But what we are saying now as risk, we have made the political concept in terms of risk and compliance. But what we want to do now, we're going to take it down. We're going to take it down to all the departments so that it is recognized everywhere. Yes, we are being called, we are being recognized. But with this 150, we're going to do it in a different way. But in by that, we're going to come out. Fly, be the best that we can be. I thank you.
As a university, or as a policy, we have made tremendous achievements in the past. One of our successes includes a Commonwealth of Learning, which helps us a lot as a university to be able to go through the audit of the National Doctoral Review. We've also, in the context of the Council of Higher Education audit, completed an institutional audit, which brings forth a number of issues that as a university we need to address. We have also hosted a number of transformation webinars. We've hosted the Rafael Institute of Institutional Researchers, which is a body that assists us in collectively looking at institutional development and also institutional support. Together with the Ghana Open University, we've hosted a symposium on regional models. These will assist us in ensuring that our regions are operating efficiently and effectively in providing services to our students. One of the things that we've done is the development of the governance of risk and compliance system that will enable our portfolios, our departments, and our directorates to be able to have access on the management of risk and compliance on an ongoing basis. In addition, we have also developed a university-wide Unintelligence, which will assist in providing intelligence or information to our stakeholders, but also provide analytics about our students and our staff. We've also won some accolades as a university. UNISA has won gold and platinum as part of the latest awards, but also IMSA, which is our major risk association, we have won 4 years in a row in the category of education. And more importantly, last year, one of our own was the runner-up to the IMSA's Risk Manager of the Year.
Why we call it GORIN? Because most of the systems were GRC systems. We decided to say that we cannot use them because we started the system from scratch. We went out for tenders, we couldn't align with the university. So now we thought, like, you know what, guys, let's build our own. So we built our own from scratch. We used SharePoint and Unisa. So we went to SharePoint, ICT guys can help us with what we want. Then we went to the system, we configured it the way we can configure it for ourselves.
What was your specific challenge?
We couldn't get a tender that will meet the requirements, all the requirements that we want.
What problem were you trying to solve?
We wanted to move from the manual system. We wanted to automate everything because our documents are Excel documents, Word documents. Every time we've got committees, we've got 1 and 10 at the university. We have to print. It's a lot of printing.
And Tabora, in terms of risk management and compliance, what difference do you think you've made?
We have changed the culture. People now are risk cautious. Every time when they think of anything they do, from contracting, they think about risk, they think about compliance. I think from where we are, we have really reached a milestone with UNISA. You must see even the documents, the way we report, it's totally different.
And to the camera, how do you feel about winning tonight?
I'm so excited. And this is the third time, I think the 4th time in a row that we are winning the industry. We are always changing our direction. We go different ways. We come up with different initiatives every year. That is how we want to promote risk. We don't follow the normal.
UNISA is this year having one thing that we need to know that UNISA is the university that came and developed other universities in South Africa, and also the university that ensured the development of distance learning in South Africa and in the world. We pride ourselves on our institution, and we hope we all say happy 150 years UNISA. Thank you.
So, thank you very much for your time to just listen to this. Without any further ado, I would like Mr. Morella just to give you a sense of the work that we've done, but more importantly, around what we as strategy risk advisory services to be held, to be accountable for in the context of delegation authority moving forward, but also just to give you context around why it's so important to have delegation of authority and the understanding that goes with it. And some of you who have read the documentation will probably realize the importance and the value of understanding the duality of the operations of the university in the context of governance and oversight, management and administration. And that becomes the most important pillar. If we miss that part, then we end up in situations where we worry and wonder how we got there in the first place. So hopefully, Ms. Morella and I am ready. Yeah. So, but welcome, and thank you very much for this opportunity today.
Thank you, Prof. And good morning, colleagues.
Okay, I'll let you do that. But what you must know is that we have, he's been in the higher education space for a while, and also has done a lot of work around this issue of governance and delegation of authority, and we procured services to help us to be able to do that. But we'll tell you more about it. So, thank you.
Good morning again, colleagues. The name is Morailani Morailani. I am from a company called Leshaka Consulting. As the name indicates, we are a consulting company providing advisory services to a few clients. We want to specialize in higher education soon because there are serious problems in higher education. I was saying to Mema Mahura, is that the Deborah was referred to? Zipporah, Zipporah, I'm sorry about that. I was saying to her that there is some form of unhappiness with how institutions that have been given to black people have been run down. And I was saying to her also that I think we should demand more from ourselves. We need to put excellence as an important pillar that we should be aspiring to achieve. And I hope that the work that we are doing will assist the university towards excellence. Now, I didn't know all the things that Professor Ndlovu said I am going to be doing. I was not told about those things. I also did not know the format of this august occasion, because what happened was that I was put in an email, what is it called, distribution list. I only saw 8 people there. So I said, oh, 8 people. So it's going to be a breakfast around, a small table, 8 people. All of them wearing suits. And, I didn't know that I would be invited for the rest 40 people or so. So when my voice is not, up to scratch, you must know that I'm trembling here. But I think the way I I saw problem with addressing the occasion, there's a little bit of informality. So I apologize for my suit. I'm likely to move away from my prepared thing so that I can then try and facilitate an engagement. You know, I move away from the formal consulting process, but try and do it almost like a workshop-ish type of a thing, so that there is some interaction. You may ask some of the questions. I'm sure there are lots of questions you may want to ask a person like me, given what is happening at the university today. Or am I wrong? I'm wrong. Oh, okay. No, then it's going to be smooth sailing. Can you all see what is happening here? Because I can't see. Can you see? Oh, thank you very much. The story of delegations of authority. As you read what is out there, I'll go on from my approach. The story of delegations in any organization is a story of decision making. What decisions are made, who makes those decisions. That's all what everybody can hire top-rated consultants to come and tell you stories about delegations. DOA, all that we're talking about is who makes decisions. Now, every one of us makes decisions, or we are part of the decision-making process. So in UNISA, the university has been having the problem of trying to solve this problem. What is the ambit of decision-making? As per different organs of the university, as per different individuals in the university. And others felt that they are excluded. So the university has had numerous resolutions to try and solve this problem. There has been few attempts to do this in the last many years. But I think since the new management has come through, they really have wanted to solve this problem. Hence our appointment to come in and assist. I hope that we will be able to finish this project because of the economics of the university. I hope that whatever happens, our work will not be lost in the, well, what do they say in English, fall into the cracks when they make new process against guards and all that and all that. We believe that we have delivered a solution that the university can be able to take forward. We are asked to provide a delegations of authority policy, supporting standard operating procedures, delegation schedules, delegations profiles of the Vice Chancellor, Vice Chancellor, and advice on how threshold system operates. I'll go the formal route a little bit because as at one stage I was doing an assignment at one of the universities, and but for the first time I engaged with universities. So I had to prove my credentials for about an hour or so because I'm not a professor, neither am I a doctor. You saw everyone that was speaking here is a doctor of some sort of a professor. So I had to prove my credentials. Do I know this thing that I'm talking about? And of course, I can claim I do. But I think you use systems to be able to say, yes, this thing works or not. Methodologies are important to yourselves. So let me just have that moment to deal with the credibility issues. We have to use acceptable methodologies, tools, and instruments and techniques to ensure that what we give to UNISA is robust, it is credible, it can be able to withstand any form of rigor and inquiry. So we have to go into the law. What does the law say? The precepts of the law, legislation, policy, and directives and regulations and all those things. We have to go there. We have to go into findings of assessments, the famous one referred to. But in our instance, the attitude or the approach was the following. We need to future-proof the UNISA from the findings of other assessments from other universities. Not only your MTT problem, it's but one problem. In fact, it's smaller than what other universities have faced. So we had to go into that. There's a report that had been prepared in 2010 or so. We had to go into that, but also the recent history of other universities up to, I would have alleged that up to last week when CPUT, is it CPUT, where the council has been threatened with dissolution. Yeah, or CUT. So we are not the only ones in trouble. A few other universities have got their own councils dissolved. I'm not going there. I see Mr. Kalan's way. So we had to go into assessments of many other universities. The purpose, it was not to address MTT. Purpose is to future-proof the university around the issues that are in those assessments. Of course, we had to meet with many of your colleagues to review their experience of the current regime. What's happening? So and so is taking decisions, but we think he's not supposed to be taking those decisions, or decisions are being delayed. A popular view. There's a serious gap or turnaround time in terms of the shoe bending. When the shoe doesn't fit well, it bends me. But the person or the cobbler who must fix the shoe is 6 months away from me. So we need to solve those types of problems. You are the ones who know what is happening about decisions, how they affect your work. So we need to enable a process that brings decision-making as close as possible. Remove pitfalls and hurdles and the like for those decisions that are remote from you, but they affect your work. That is the review of the current regime. Inputs of staff and members of council. You have views about how archaic the current policies would be. What are the thoughts that you have about certain committees making certain decisions, but in your experiences from other universities or other environments where you come from, there's too much bureaucracy. So we have to also find that out in a formalistic way. So we have to get the experiences, comments, and suggestions of staff and members of council. Literature review. We have to go and check what the best minds have got to say about this. There are professors that could have taught me. I tried to study at this university. So some of the things that you taught me are inbuilt in here. But your colleagues out there, what do they think? How are universities in America run? How are decisions taken in America? Because with the advent of COVID, I think it became very, very clear that studying is an international phenomenon. You can now study overseas, but you being in or there, the world is catching up with you. There's a distance, what do you call it? Long distance, or distance learning institution. Your students can be on the beach in Bali today, in Indonesia, or sleeping in Brazil. They can be anywhere in the world. So if you are teaching those students, they coming from those jurisdictions, it means that you have to be as good as the universities that are out there. So we have to go and check how do other universities do these things. And we can only get that coming from those that know, that have studied and formulated opinions in terms of articles that they would write and all that. We have to do benchmarking. How do other universities do it, our peers? How do they do it? There is best practice that comes from there. But we also have to go and inquire the concept as from other institutions that may not be in our sector. If Anglo-American does it well, we'll bring whatever they do into the university system. If the tribal authority in Mangaung village in Kwakwa, where I come from, does it well, we'll bring it in here. So that is the tapestry where we come from. The knowledge about this concept, which we bring in and apply the necessary tools, and then we came up with the suggestions that are sitting at council's room. I've already spoken to the approach and methodology. Status quo analysis, what's happening, benchmark and best practices, what is out there, solutions design. We bring all this together into what we propose, and then you'll be left with implementation. I think that is why Professor Ndlovu felt that we should come here, because you are the people who will be implementing, at least in this division. So I'm going to speak a lot more about that part, the implementation. In terms of the policy, don't worry, you will see it in the policies library when it's there. But your views have been put across into the policy environment in those intentions. We had to go through a lot of literature to try and get you with our solution into speed as we design your UNISA documents, center benchmark information, and best practices out there. So our findings indicate that there are a lot of challenges facing the higher education sector. As I said, from the previous successors reports, eventually we want to future-proof UNISA of what is in those assessors reports. The MTT report, we are referring to it because it's on the tongues of the people, but it's simply another assessor's report. So we're not really elevating it higher than any other. I hope you understand why we. Remember, I'm independent when I come here, so I'm not really addressing those types of things. I'm just coming here with my best practice methodologies and the like and say, this is what needs to be done. But we want to future-proof UNISA of these irrespective of whether they are true or not. So don't even want to ask me whether I agree with the findings or not. I don't necessarily agree, or in fact, let me put this word diplomatic. I don't have a view. Whether they are right or not. But whatever is written in there, if it says people are stealing, of course, we'll make recommendations on how to make sure that people are stealing. Poor deal of a framework, we need to deal with the existential perceptions and experiences of people if they are wrong. To say, how does this thing link up with risk? Or maybe it was not linking up with risk. What I saw is that when I looked at the minutes of different committees of council and management committees and the like, I see that decision-making in the university is not dealing with risk. It's dealing with power. All the debates that are in there are dealing with power, particularly power in which areas? Procurement and appointments. Those are the two areas that people think DOA deals with. I'll disappoint you as I've disappointed management. We're not dealing with tenders here. Those of them who are thinking that we are resolving tender problems, sorry, that's not the university. The university is a much more bigger institution than that. But we have specific attention that we will place on tenders and appointments, so that all the problems that are there, I hope that they will disappear. In fact, the latest report of the independent assessor, your Africa's in that area. So we should ensure that we deal with risk issues of the university. We must deal with efficiency of the university, bureaucratic organization. Let's deal with that. Poor accountability. You want to make decisions, then you must be held accountable for the decisions that you make, especially the quality of the decisions. Most importantly, quality of the decisions. So if you are, in fact, I suspect that is why you try and hire educated people to occupy these managerial roles, and require that Harari goes and do a PhD, because he needs to be more educated to occupy senior positions. So when that job description says we want a PhD, the reason why they want the PhD is so that, firstly, they expect technical output, but they also expect expertise, excellence, and quality, because you are expected to be better, or else they must hire me, to be in professional position, because clearly The PhD does not help. The 20 years experience he has in higher education space does not help. Okay? So the reason why they want those things is so that they can hold you accountable. Not only for the output, but the quality of that output. Very important. So the 150 years of UNISA is allegedly very good. Well, according to the newspaper this week, it says that the university is going down and what. And I try and reconcile that with the reports. There's a slight disjuncture. I mean, you are winning awards and what. I don't know if the university is collapsing. But it deals with quality in any case. So the DOA needs to be developed to deal with risk, bureaucratic organization, poor accountability, and organizational dysfunction or disjunction. I must move fast. Yeah? At the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the day, all decisions in the university and in the center of all decisions in the university, it is an issue of service delivery. Principally to the students, and secondarily to all other service stakeholders. The university does not exist for compliance reasons or to pay employees. The university exists for one purpose only: the service to students and therefore to the country. That's why in Parliament they vote money into this university. So we should enable and enhance operational efficiency and effectiveness in delivering services to all university stakeholders. Your division is a service division, Prof. So you exist to provide service to other people in the university. That's why you exist. So all decisions that you make must be to provide service, not gatekeeping. There are other divisions that think that they must be gatekeeping or whatever. No. Provide service. So all decisions, when you say no, you must judge it against whether am I providing service or not by saying no. Rather, you should be framing it to say, maybe, but only if you do this, we will provide you the service. The orientation needs to change from gatekeeping or exercising power. The power you have is to provide service, not to deny service. Like security guards. Security guards are there to deny you entry. Not to say, oh, we are here to see the Vice Chancellor. Yes, Mr. Maryland. Do you have an appointment? No, I don't have an appointment. Go away. No. They pick up the phone. They phone the Vice Chancellor's office and say, there's a Mr. Maryland here who wants to see you. Please advise what you should do. They must, not the security guard. That's service. We need to manage risk. Now, let's use 150 that is written there. 150 years is a demonstration of managing risk. 150 years of existence demonstrates managing risk. Without managing risk, the university would have collapsed a long time ago. So it's now today in your hands, as managers, but specifically I thought that the risk also belongs here. Now we have a way of speaking. So, you are there to advise the university on risk and how it should be managed, so that 150 years later from today, there will be people who will be speaking about the university, because you guys manage the risk when you were the incumbents today. Best practice. And if your people are not good enough, you must let go. That's what best practice is. Learning from others, but wanting to be in front of others. That's the part we want to talk about. So when we do benchmarking, which best practice is part of, or no, the other way. No? When we do that, it's not to copy and paste, but it's to make sure that what we see from the others is now the minimum. We go in higher. So that when we are, those of you who watch football over the weekend, there's a club called Man City. Ooh, Man City. Man City was the noisy neighbors of Man United. It looks like there's a Man United. The noisy neighbors, they were not the best. The owners decided, we want to be the best. What did they do? Put billions into the organization, hired the best people, set up the goal, Champions League. They failed for the last few years to get the Champions League. On Saturday they got it. What did they do in the last year or two? They identified that we just do not have just the last line. Just the last line. Hence they went on to go and buy some of the world's best strikers to put them that side. So they knew what Barcelona, Real Madrid, and whoever was doing. They tried doing that, but it did not put them in front. So what did they do? They took decisions to go in front. So when we do benchmarking, it's not copy and paste. It's first copy and paste, and then improving on the paste that you become better. Excellence. So where do we want to go? We found that the totality of delegations are derived from the Constitution, the Higher Education Act, and the statute, and these should not be conflicted. It has nothing to do with anybody's opinion. How decisions of a university are made is a matter of the Constitution, the Higher Education Act, and the statute. It's not as far as sure. It's not people's opinions. At the university, when you want to buy a car, it's not an opinion. At your home, it's your opinion. Here, no. So we have to create a framework that enables the buying of a car at the university. You don't even buy a white one if you want it. Or black one, not black. Yeah, black. There are no black cars in the university. Only like the university. One or two. But the university, there is a standard about what cars to buy. Okay? At the university, there is a rule where the logo of the university is put. There are rules. Nobody takes a decision and say, today you will now want to use colors like this. I don't know what this color is. We told me when we were going to make a presentation, we must use the university colors. But at that time, by the time she spoke, we had already put the colors there. Because we know the rules. So you don't make decisions in the university. In a university, you follow the Constitution, the Higher Education Act, and the statute. I don't know what happened. Why am I not know? Why is that presentation? Or maybe it's not important. So there are ministerial delegations. What is it that the minister can do and cannot do about the university? That is governed by two things: the Constitution of the country and the Higher Education Act. The Constitution guarantees institutional autonomy. The Act enables the minister to interfere on this, provided. So the decisions the minister can take about the university are governed by the Constitution, the Higher Education Act, and he must follow certain procedures. Governance delegations, we are in a bicameral system. We have administrative support and general management delegations. Those are run by council. On the other side, we have academic issues. Who is that side? The academics, the core business. Why is it like that? Does anybody know why we have this camera thing? Is there anyone who can try and venture a thought? Right?
I suspect that the main purpose of the university is about academic projects. Therefore, decision that has to do with academic matters have to be taken by academics, and that's what Senate sits and does. And then the council becomes a jurisdict person, which then who is almost the person that can be sued and take accountability for the transgressions of the institution according to law. I agree.
Is there anyone else who can tell me why we have a dual system, a bicameral system? Okay, thanks Prof for that. Let me shed a little bit of light there. You see, universities were run by the churches in the past. You remember? Or maybe you don't know. Some of you may not. But the universities were run by churches in the past. You know, knowledge was residing in the churches. They were the dispensers of this thing. Now with modernity, we then started having managerialism coming in, managers, professionals, taught by the same church that you must be better at managing and whatnot. So they started saying, so what is our role? No, you manage the university. Oh, okay. They started managing universities, and then they realized that, the core project, the business of the university is not being run properly. And Mr. Morena will not know what a professor looks like. No, I don't know what a professor looks like. I'm a product of a professor, but I don't know how to create a professor. Only an academic, only a professor, a person who is at that level of knowledge creation would know what a student should be taught so that they are full-bodied, they are experts in a particular area and the like. Now, the importance of this is that what would be the decisions that Senate should be taking as opposed to the decisions that are taken by council? No? In the same way that councils have been thought of as making decisions that belong to the academic section, there is now a reverse process where senates are beginning to get involved in issues that should be belonging in the general management sphere. Employment of a sweeper, I consider that many people like sweepers. They support them as sweepers, except that one of them is a professor in the head of the. But at the end of the day, we provide support. Like sweepers at the university, all of us in here. Should Senate be involved in that appointment? Should it be consulted? Should we prolong the time for consultation? Because Senate has to meet in August to okay the appointment of a sweeper. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say to you. Some of those things should not be belonging to the Senate side. So we need to ensure that those that are involved in the appointment, that are necessary, get involved. Those that are not necessary, they must be taken out. Hence, one of our recommendations is that the university has got to look into the policies that it has to deal with these contradictions that unnecessarily prolong decision-making in the university and involve wrong people. In the same way that we will argue council must not be in management, so should management not be in council. But in the same way, council must not be in Senate issues, but Senate must not be in council issues. But at the same time, the Act says Senate is accountable to council on the academic enterprise. So this that we have put across creates the right framework on how does Senate get to be accountable to council, even on matters that are statutorily determined. Who said, council, yeah, Prof. Linda, you said when that 4-letter word hits the fan, council is asked questions. So it means that a matter in Senate, in the academic enterprise, when something wrong happens there, degrees are awarded. I was listening to the news. In Portugal, they say there are degrees that are being awarded for, if you have connections, please set me up. I want to be doctor. So, council is the one that is going to be asking those questions. But council is not involved in marking a script, accepting a person to come into the university, sitting for exams, progression, all kinds of things. But if there's anything wrong, the council will be asked. So what is the system that is being put in place to be able to hold Senate accountable for the decisions that it makes in terms of strategies, plans, all kinds of decisions that the Senate takes? This framework that we have here deals with that. Am I making sense? I can't read the room. There's this thing written in the room. Yes, Mr. Kalam.
No, thanks. Without interrupting your guest, in fact, I was maybe perhaps when the document is being shared with us, we will be able to be answered later in terms of the questions that were raised. But I was just interested in the point that it says, in an event whereby a Senate advised Council on a particular matter, and Council refuse or rather disregard the advice, and then they say what is the fact, and Council says to the minister or to whoever, but that is not our responsibility. Ours is to provide governance and oversight. The matter should go back to Senate. So I hope that also the system also try to classify in that point as to who then becomes responsible for that. Thanks.
Well, the system does not deal with who becomes responsible. It deals with who becomes accountable. Council is not only dealing with governance and oversight. There's a third element. Decisions. There are certain decisions that are made by Council. Then there is the governance element. Then there is the oversight element. So yes, we think we have provided for that. But there is another leg that needs to be resolved about conflict between, well, it's not necessarily conflict, is when you do not agree, how do you resolve this? Now, the disagreement may be in terms of substantive issues, or it may be in terms of opinions. The system that we are creating is the one that says every decision must be evidence-based and data-driven. Okay? And we also will suggest that decision makers must be people who are skilled. That's why your MBAs and your PhDs and all those things. So if you are making a decision against evidence, against data, against proper methodologies, the problem is not the decision. The problem is you. Because now you are doing things against what is supposed to be happening. So the system that we are creating, it says, let's have a decision crafted in a particular way so that it can be able to show the evidence. So it can identify what is the problem that we want to address, what we call a management dilemma, whether it's a problem or an opportunity or whatever, craft it in a particular way, provide the evidence, provide for analysis, do this, do that, do that, do that, deliver this to the decision maker. If the decision maker is against that way, it is the decision maker that must account now. That is why it says in the Act, all other structures that are advising Council, if Council does not accept those advices, it must write the reason for not accepting that. That's the first part. But the second part is that you have the opportunity to review your advice. And you can come back and say, no, we are still going for the advice we provided you. Because we can't manipulate the evidence. We can't manipulate the data. If the temperature of the patient is less than 34 degrees, and when the patient is at 34 degrees, this must be prescribed. If you refuse that prescription based on this 24, we don't know what else to do. Are you with me? However, we've provided that when that happens, then that person can take that decision because you are acting based on their decision making. Okay? So they can now take the decision, a non-evidence-based decision, non-data-driven decision. They can do that. So that then, and now all this will be recorded. So when your auditors or assessors come in, it will be easy. They will know exactly who to hold accountable. Of course, after the governance delegations, you have your executive and management delegations. So, as I said, there are 3 levels of decisions. Ministerial ones, governance decisions that reside both in council and in Senate, and then managerial decisions that reside within the realm of the Vice Chancellor and management. We have created a system that clearly delineates those and also integrates them. So when you need a decision, and when you need a decision that the minister must make, remember your responsibility may be certain things that bend your feet, but that decision is a ministerial decision. There needs to be a process that you can engage to access that decision so that your foot does not get sore. I hope you understand what I'm saying. Unlike in a non-functional system, where now your foot is bending but you don't know what to do. Now the system is saying, no, you'll be able to know exactly how to access those decisions wherever they are. Of course, we deal with governance, academic affairs, administration, and support. And the application areas are legal, strategic leadership, governance, administration, university finances, supply chain, up to audit. Everything in the university is there. Every area of the university is covered in here. The 6 critical success factors identified as essential for successful implementation and ultimately for the good governance of the institution and its success. The doctrine of non-interference. Remember I talked about minister, governance, and management. That must be properly governed so that there is non-interference, or if there is interference, it must not be by opinion, it must be structured, and you know what should happen. Leadership commitment, setting out what needs to be achieved and engaging everyone else towards those goals. One of those is this one here, that I'm here to come and speak to you and try and advise you. Talented people. I don't know why the lady is going on about to talk about talented people. But it's important that only the talented people are hired, because you can't succeed with non-talented people. You can't. A recipe for disaster. So the assumption all the time is that everybody is talented. You know, we have to say everybody here is talented and capable. It is for them to disappoint us and say, I'm not talented. So we will recruit you, we think you are talented, put you in office. It's you now. With your performance, you will show us that I'm not talented. Logistical support, I'm sure some of you in here are administrators in your divisions and the like. So we need to be able to make sure that decisions in the university, there's a system, clear system, logistics and everything else. I'm also referring to systems management, that will ensure that you are able to access decisions. And which meetings to attend, all those things are part of success, or else we're in trouble. If you don't have proper logistics, but we have all these other things, it won't happen. We'll miss meetings, reports won't reach council. And turnarounds of councils are long, very long. Sometimes a decision is made in March, in the meeting of March. It can only be approved in March next year, if you are not careful, if you don't have proper systems. Now we've tried to remove those things, to be able to say, your shoe bends, you are able to take the decision wherever it is. The same of things coming back and forth, I don't know in your experience, but in other places those things happen. So we need to be able to say, you are not a gatekeeper, you are part of the decision-making process. There's the manager, sign off, add quality onto the request for the decision, it goes up. It goes up. VC, committee, council. Turn around. This thing of meetings that has matters arising. You remember those things, matters arising. When a thing is rounding forever. No matters arising in meetings. Yeah? Because things are clarified and we make the proper decisions as and when they are required. Accountability and spirit to it. The sense of not wanting to be wrong. For me, that is what accountability is. I had a manager one time when I was still coming up. This fellow could speak better than I could, and and I would go into a meeting to explain failure. There are reasons why this report is not here, or the quality of this report is not up to scratch. We wanted inputs from you before we make decisions. All that. No. All decisions, if they are yours, wherever you are here, when you write a decision for council, it must be a complete decision. It's not going to be nourished by the layers on top of you. That's why we wanted those PhDs and masters and whatever. When we say develop a policy, it must be complete when it leads your office to your next level of management. It must be complete proper. Or maybe 97%. The 3% is 1% for the vice principal, and then 1% for the principal, and then some small spelling mistakes at council. That's what council must do. Spellings, not input. Yeah? And when the vice chancellor has been so upset with the deputy principal, then even that 1% disappears. So now the vice chancellor and the council are doing nothing because we've produced a 98% proper report. Systems management frameworks, you should be able to know how you're going to do that, policies, processes, and procedures to run the institution. We recommended we are using some form of a maturity assessment framework, a 5-layer thing to say from native to optimized. These things in quality control, they have these things, we've seen them somewhere, you should have We are not proposing that UNISA must be optimized, because you always say, we are having room for failure. Ideally, we should get optimized. So they are in strategy, in organization, in technical systems and people. Where should we be if we want to be at 4? In a scale of 1 up to 5. We want to be at 4. What does it mean in terms of our policies, systems? What should it be in terms of our organization and management? What should it be in our systems and our people? This is management consulting. This is how we frame the things. But at the end of the day, this is the picture we are going. At least we want predictability. You should know what's going to happen about your decision, because you have crafted a decision that you want council to make, or your manager must make, or you make. That is meeting certain standards, and those standards are very simple: evidence-based and data-driven. If you don't solve that problem, it's okay. At the end of the day, the Vice Chancellor is in between, is inside all decisions in the university, whether they are going to the minister. What is my time memory? I hope we are not. I thought I had an hour. Yes, that's what my program said. Okay. So the VC is at the center of all this. You are part of the VC. Whether the decision requires a minister, council, senate, or the VC or line management, you are part of that. The VC is in the center. Just think of it as a funnel. But a funnel that has, funnel is on top, receiving, and then also distributing. That type of funnel. The one that has the top part and the below part. So what is the problem? Now, ladies and gentlemen, this one I would want, it must be shown. This slide, please show it. Thank you. Now, we're going into implementation. Yeah? Every one of us in the university has got a role to play, either as a proposer or a preparer of a decision, or as a recommender of a decision, or an approver of a decision. Every one of us in the university, including when you go to the bathroom, you are the proposer and the approver there. Okay? But coming in here, somebody proposed to the vice principal, and then he made a decision, or he could have made a decision himself, proposed it and approved it himself. If he doesn't require, upstairs. What is it called? The 13th floor. So every one of us here have got that role. It will be explained inside the delegations of authority policy, but also the standard operating procedures are there that describes all of us in there. Okay? The implementation and the monitoring of this process that will happen after approval by council. We identified from the best delegations of authority frameworks, and this is coming from all over the world, that there are 8 key success factors and principles in common. 1, the quest to attain the vision and mission of the organization. You remember that issue about service delivery. No? 2, we want to enable and attain operational efficiency. You remember when I talked about turnaround times and gatekeeping. 3, enable heightened risk management. The only reason why we should be doing certain things in a particular way, make sure that UNISA is here 150 years from today. And what is it? It's managing risk. So when a person talks about tenders, it must come from a risk perspective. It must not come from award. It must come from risk. To say the saga in KZN about school fee. Remember that? They say a particular entity was given a tender of 1.2 billion. Okay, to us it's a big amount. But when you're feeding thousands and hundreds of students, hundreds and thousands of students or pupils in KZN, that pays to nothing on a daily basis. But it's an institute, it's a logistics nightmare. So the award of the tender should not necessarily have been the award of tender. It must have been the major issues there would be the risk of failure when the children are not fair. Okay? Now, the most important weight for me would have been financing it on a monthly basis that we can solve if we pay you correctly on time. But we want securities from the banks. This becomes the terms of reference in the tender document. We want guarantees from the banks that you can be able to have at least 2 months of supply based on our inefficiencies of paying people on a bi-monthly cycle. Okay? The second one is logistics. How are you going to ensure that the child in Shawaninga will have their fresh bread daily? That becomes a criteria of our work. If you don't solve that problem, we won't give you this. And you should know up front, not your connections in the board or in the council or in senior management or in the tender committee. No, because who is crafting this tender? You, as the logistics person, some low-lying official who must feed the children. Okay, that is the pain that they have. It's just a good thing that I know my cousin can do this well. So they let the tender go to my cousin. But my cousin must deliver. Are you with me? Yes, it must deliver, my cousin. So it's a risk perspective that is important, not money. Money is one of the elements, but it is not who we award to. So the council and management must create processes that deals with risk inside the award into service delivered by outside service providers. So I don't know if you've been involved in that area, but that's exactly what it should be, and it should have a particular role in there. Ensure appropriate use of limited resources. Taxes are going down. We are hungry. As the people out there, we don't have money to give into UNISA. But I heard that you have in the public now. They say we have reserves at UNISA, 20 billion. So I hope that is not being mentioned so that we can deplete them. We need to ensure that all our resources are used properly. No? Benefit from thought leadership, let's not do things that are out of kilter with proper thinking. Benefit from benchmarks in the sector. If we want to attract the best, we must be the best, so that we can get those people coming here to teach. Avoid repeat audit findings. Only a fool is caught making the same mistake. We want the best kind. What does he call it? what's the term? When we want to say they have committed the best murder, there's a phrase that they use. But nobody is going, perfect crime, yeah, perfect crime. It's only perfect until you tell somebody else. Yeah? So the idea is that when you pull it off, nobody must come back to catch up with you. Separation of power and roles, that one I've spoken to. Now, what's going to happen is this conference. Also, when I'm in a podium, I remember my student activities days. I'm 5 minutes, please. What's going to happen is the following, that every one of us here as managers who are involved in decision making, either in your departments, divisions, blah, blah, blah. You're going to have what is called a delegations profile, a thing that assists you to be able to know what is the end of your decision making. Every one of you. You don't know now as to what your decision making is. Now, when you have a delegations profile, you will be able to say, oh, now I know. It's like, here's my, what do you call it, job description. Here's my performance contract or APP, what are the things that I've got to meet. Now, here is my budget. Here is my delegations, or here are my delegations. Now we are able to say, in order to do my work, which is in the job description, to achieve the goals and targets that are set out in my APP, using these resources, these are the decisions that I can make. Here are the ones that I need my bosses to deal with. We are together. So you have that, and then that is just the process of how that is going to happen. It's the standard operating procedure. It's a contract, you will sign for that. So that when you are taken to court or fired for transgressing this, you would have known. Okay? But there are conditions. You remember those things that we said we want to manage? Your risks and utilizing resources properly and all those things. Okay? So there are areas that we call limitations or conditions that are put in place that you will know and they will be reflected in your delegations profile. Do you have to report post or pre you made this decision? Okay? So this thing of asking other entities, statutorily or act-wise, do you have to report, to consult with them or not? You know, there are bodies or individuals that are so strong in the university or in entities that everything must go and pass by them. We need to clarify that. Okay? So the decision maker might say, before you come here, let so and so sign. They are the ones that will make that decision. Not some funny tradition that says so and so or somebody must be. Some body, some organ, not somebody, some organ, must be consulted or the like. It's up to the decision maker to make that determination, not that somebody. Are you with me? It's either it's a policy-driven thing or a practice thing, but it has to be like that. Use of thresholds. How much can I sign for? All of you here are looking for that. Now, how much can I sign for? How much can I sign for? If you have understood me well, it's immaterial how much you can sign for. Because if the rules are set properly, you can sign for 500 million, but you may not be the decision maker around that part. You may not be sitting in a tender committee because the tender committee is constituted in a different way, and When you are in council, you think that no, things must come here. They will not come. Or if they come with evidence and data and the like. So you will not influence that decision if you understood me well. So this issue of thresholds, let it not bother you too much. Let operational efficiency and management of risk be the ones that guide us there. Okay? Transferability of authority. Prof, what authorities do you have? Which ones do you transfer? Same thing. When you have the authorities, can you transfer them onwards, cascading those decisions? Okay? Approval route, before I make a decision, I want so and so and so and so and so and so to say yes or no, or provide their opinion. Okay? Somebody talked about advice. Come on. Advice is purely that. Advice. I make the decision. You have advised me. I have considered your advice. In some instances, I write back. Statutorily I'm required. But in some instances, for team dynamics, I'll call you in and say, my chief, I see you are not agreeing here. My view is this and that and that. I don't think you have looked at this and that and that. I'm taking a decision contrary to your advice. Controls embedded in other policies. Many people over tea and in other instances, they think that this is where the solution is solved. Controls are going to we want the delegations. No. The delegations is but one instrument. Other policies are also expected to have their own controls. Setting up interview panels is a control in the recruitment policy. It is not the control in the delegations of authority policy. But there are many other policies that you make in your area. So you're going to have to review those policies yourselves to bring them in line with the principle that ensures that the controls are properly placed. It is the controls within various value chains that protect UNISA's best interest, but not who makes the decision. That's so. Okay? That's what we say. Therefore, very well the process that can be included in an approval route, advice, consultation, standards and protocols and expertise. Remember the issue about advice? The statute says the IF, no, not the state, yeah, statute. IF is created by statute, not by the exam. The statute says the IF advises on the following 3 matters. I don't know how much power does your IF have. In other institutions, I've seen them being a parallel council. Okay? So you need to clarify proper what the IF does. How does it do that so that things are in order? Consultation, unions and the like are the ones that I have taken over this way, consultation. But then it has morphed from consultation to something else. They are called decision makers now, yeah? In many institutions. Standards and protocols. Who can issue a media statement? On what aspects? Where can you put the logo of the university? Can I put the logo of the university on this color of your jacket? Do you know? Yes. You have a manual, like that says that must be like that. There are many other things that should be governed by standard. So the vice chancellor or decision maker may say, before I make a decision, let the standard person tell me that this is in compliance with the standard. Or advise you to make it comply to standard. The finance people are one of those people that you must also be making sure that they don't take away your power as line managers about the finances in your division. But the rule is they must exercise oversight on the standard or protocols in the use of the funds of the university. I hope you understand. Expertise. Before I sign this thing, I need expert view on this. The normal thing is what you call legal opinion. Legal people are So that would be that type of expertise. But it can be in many other fields that I require expertise before I sign. Now, this is the delegation's profile. We have a protocol that talks to who should sign documents and the like, in line with that approval route and all that. The issue of risk, we talked about that. You need to have a process that ensures that when you make a decision, before you exercise, put a signature on. You need to make sure that you identify the delegated power, that you have it, examine your delegation's profile, that you are the one who's authorized to sign there, examine the fact-based evidence and data, align with principles or prescripts of the university, and make a decision. I still level. They are not doing it. That's the end of my presentation. I'm told I was not supposed to say, are there any questions? Are there any questions?
Well, maybe we could stop here. We see what we're going to do. Probably by then, because of that, and probably have time to do.
I was telling somebody this morning, she was asking me how I feel, how things. I was like, yeah, you see, so then I remember that there is this attach from an old movie, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, by Eliwala, what's the other name? Terence Hill and Clint Eastwood. So at one time, this guy, Eliwala, was trying to explain how he feels. And he says, you see, you worry, you die. You don't worry, you die too. So why worry? And it becomes important in the sense that in all things happening around us, so we may worry, but we shouldn't worry too much, or rather because whether we worry or not doesn't matter. When things happen, they do happen. We just have to deal with them. So we thought that Smartcare is now we sort of dampen and get a certain work a bit. Now we've worked a lot. So I would like to present to you Mr. Trevor Gould.
Although he did mention Terence Howard and Bud Spencer. How old are you, Professor? Bud Spencer. When was the last time? Don't look at his baby face, no? His first name might be Cash, but he can so. So congratulations, guys. The professor tells me last time we were together was January. A year ago, I was here for the faculty. So yeah, this is the second time we meet us here. A round of applause to you guys. Well done. Hey, you can see it's a special occasion. Everybody dressed up. Everyone's looking so nice. Out of the house. Hey, working from home is not so great, is it? No, guys, no. Tell the truth and shame the devil. This is the first time in months most of the room is wearing anything under their hips. They're washing your laundry. It's all just tops. I'm on blouse and I'm on blazer. That's all that's in the laundry. So I've got a working wife as well, so that we can afford food. And we got married the day before the hard lockdown started. Remember when Cyril was like, okay, it's going to be 21 days. We were like, it's fine. We trust him. Look, it's Cyril. Come on. He's a billionaire. Trust him. Hey. We married the day before, and then the next day was lockdown. And then she's like, okay, baby, let's go on our honeymoon. I was like, sorry, baby, you can see outside, we sat our food, we can't go anywhere. I saved thousands on honeymoon money. I thought it was so smart, right? But then Cyril, our old friend, Ramaphosa, extended the 21-day lockdown to longer days, remember that? You're like, yeah, but I've still got half a bottle of gin. There might be 2 red wines left. Now we have to deal with those guys about, take it or leave it. Take it or leave it. Smirnoff, 700, Smirnoff. 700 rand. Even students in high school are not drinking Smirnoff anymore. They're like, ew, it's like 50 rand. It was messed up, but we had a lot of bonding, my wife and I. Well, she made me pineapple beer. Remember that? It was what, brown sugar, raisins, pineapple, orange. You are exposing yourself to be from orange farms. No such thing as oranges in pineapple beer, sir. And mist. It was really nice. We had a good time. We almost poisoned ourselves because we changed our dealer. This is alcohol. It's not like you're buying drugs, but we're like, who's our dealer? We're like, okay, we got some whiskey and we got some gin. Guy came with a see-through bottle, nothing besides the letter G. The letter G. Just that for gin. Nothing, no ingredients, nothing. How do you make gin, sir? Ukala. You know pineapple beer. You know exactly. What goes into pineapple beer? What goes into gin? How can I check if those bottles are poison? Bottle G only. The other one had the W, Uzi. But when you hold it to the sun, it's supposed to be brown. Whiskey brandy brown. You hold it to the sun, you see those little rainbow colors. LGBTQ poison. It was all fun and games until it was then further extended into the lockdown. Now this is the time when my new marriage is still on the rocks. We haven't been out the house. Still on the rocks. So we'll say another month. Now her work is also like we're paying you. So stop working from home. Then a laptop comes out in our small little flat here. Our laptop comes out. She's in meetings from 8 in the morning until 5 in the evening. All day, meetings. It's open like that in front of her. I can hear everything. It's a tiny flat, okay? I'm in my bedroom. You can hear everything that's in the kitchen. It's small, guys. It's 4 ways this thing. I honestly started thinking I might have married an idiot. Like, no, it's nothing. From 8 in the morning, every Zoom meeting, nothing from my side. There's never nothing thing, I'm going to do this. I'll do it. Next argument, when she's going on, I'll just go, anything from your side? No, I shouldn't, huh? That would be a nasty boss. That shouldn't be that. Do it over Zoom. That is very funny. Talking about Zoom now, and talking about people like Janisa, congratulations, 150 years. That is a big deal, okay? That's like a century and a half. Huge thing, okay? But if you look at it properly, 150 years, that means you guys have got a 150-year advantage of the competition, okay? And we don't really think about it. Look at Skype. Skype had a decade advantage on every other conferencing, video conferencing app, website. Where are they now? Overtaken by Zoom and Skype. Nobody ever thought about them, okay? There are certain positions that you hold at UNISA that you are not paid for innovation, but as the gentleman said, it's not about gatekeeping. So you could be in a call center. Call center. Okay. If you're looking for a call center manager, I'll go to call centers. We'll discuss later, say. You know, you could, like, probably a person from the call center at First Rand Bank came up with that, instead of calling the call center, you just message Rob. And it's like SMS. You know what I mean? You don't have to be sitting here in your position and say, oh, that's not my job. You know what I mean? Think about the advantage that you have. Skype totally messed that up. I don't know why they sat on their laurels, but they were a better conferencing, a video conferencing site. Better. Everybody had it. Nobody thought about it. Now, if you think about all the phobias that people have adopted over the last 4.5 years with the advent of COVID, people already didn't like socializing, okay? Like, I don't like people. I stay away from malls, I stay away from crowded places, because I know I'm going to get upset, and then that's going to rub the next person off in a weird way, okay? There's also health complications. Some people have breathing disorders, some people have whatever it is, some people have halitosis, they don't want to come out, you know what I mean? But education is key for every success that you want to have. So people will still want to have some kind of higher learning. And with 150 years advantage, you can do something about that. Do not become the next guy, basically. That was so smart. Where did that come from? Did you thank you, bro? Everybody else so good. Did you know how smart that was? So articulate as well. Eh? It's the accent, it's the you can tell them what to see accent, say. It's surprising because I grew up dead poor. Like dead poor. We grew up in Durban, in Lax, D section. It was called D section, there was no streets. I lived at D372. Okay. Now this is how apartheid will frustrate you. When you can't tell a person where you live. Imagine me now, maybe you know where you live now. I live at number 2 Baker Street. When you live in that, head out. Yeah, we're blessed. There's A to Z. No, there's more than A to Z. There's also A, B. Now you gotta say in D section. Oh, you're in D section. Okay. Where? At 372. Oh, okay. Behind the clinic. See how hard it is. When you can just say, yeah, here's my address. Anyway, we were dead poor, okay? I think we were poor because of my dad. Seriously. Because of my dad. Yeah, my dad. It was my dad and apartheid that caused it all. I was 6 years old, sir. 6 years old. My dad pulled me aside and he said, boy, Dad? He says, I'm going into exile. I'm like, okay, Michael. And then he left. Didn't see him. He just left. Okay? One day I'm just chilling out at home and decide, oh, I'm going to go for a walk. I walk out of D section, E section, F section, G section. It's like that. 4 sections away. It's like that right there. Hey, I can see you. Got a whole new family. He's married to a Zimbabwean lady in exile. It was so hard to be married because he technically didn't lie. He was in the other exile. Kids to prove it. But the accent stayed because although we were dead poor, I'm highly intelligent. My IQ score is 974 last year. Anyway, I'm extremely smart, so I got scholarships to go to private schools. Hence the accent, the Monosi accent, the real one. Because you get those black guys with the fake Monosi accent. I didn't say anything. Everybody heard me ask the question on the mic. I didn't do anything. Yeah, sometimes the accent is going well and then it goes well, but there's some English words that our comrades get stuck over. We're speaking the most intellectual conversation in your best English, excuse the verbosity of my situation, but then I was crossing the street and all of a sudden this vehicle, This what's that? Yeah, I asked him how it's like vehicle. You should take the phone number down because I'm sure the accent it kicks in during working hours. Somebody must get his phone number and we'll speak to HR. Ask for his phone number. Phoning him before the accent kicks in. 4 in the morning. The accent is not there. I'm not good. Phone him, ring. He's like, hey, Tasha, sorry, how? Can always catch you out, sir. So yeah, those private schools, they weren't fun. They were lots of fun. They were. And it's also where I made some of my best friends. My best friend today still is Shane Botha. He lives in London now. Previously, he lived in Cape Town. We grew up in there when we moved to Cape Town because we went to an all-boys boarding school. And Cape Town was the best place because he caught some habits. I'm not going to deny it. I was curious as well. It's high school. I'm finding myself. Come on. Things will happen. Schools were nice, but my best friend Shane and Craig Chalivas, because we were small. I was the first black kid in our primary school. And they would be like, look, I don't understand what's going on. And he's like, why is everyone always fighting in this country? Look at you and me, we're best friends. We've got everything the same. Look at you and me, we love each other. But we both hate Mrs. Harriet, the maths teacher. It's like, that's very true. That's very true, Craig. Yeah, but why are people fighting? We're the same. Everything was the same, Trevor. That's Craig, I love you, man. But you are mistaken there. Not everything is the same. So, just stop being political. What is it? Yeah, we've got the same school uniform, we've got the same teachers. Everything the same, except our lunch, Craig. Our lunch is not the same, Craig. okay, fine, whatever. And he show me your lunch, Craig. We go, okay, fine, yeah. Pulls out his lunchbox and okay. See, Spider-Man. Open up the Spider-Man lunchbox. Opens it up. I'm like, you see, it's divided. Divided into 4. There are 4 rooms in your Spider-Man lunchbox, and I live in a 4-room. He's like, wow, you guys have 3 bedrooms in your house. I'm like, everything. So, the kitchen, the bathroom, the lounge hall. It's not a lounge. You cannot lounge on furniture that you still owe Joshua Door for. There's no lounging if you still owe Joshua Door. Then it is a sitting room. Strictly. Can't just lounge on there, it's gone off the wall. So he's full of nonsense, man. It's okay, what's in the first corner? It's like, that's my sandwich. Ha! Okay? Where's the crust cake? That my mom chopped it off. It was also time. Now, okay, what's that? It's a tricky being stupid now. That's a juice bottle. Okay? Oh, it's a juice box there? What is that? Oh, it's a bottle. It's like it's the straw. Oh. Your juice inside your Spider-Man lunchbox has got a school bag. And I'm carrying my stationery in a checkout. How are we saying that? And what's that in the dead corner? What is that thing in the dead corner? Crazy. So, oh no, that's my Nachi. Why is your Nachi naked? My mom peeled it for me. No black matter is going to wake up at 5 in the morning to peel a Nachi. To peel a Nachi. And how spoiled do you need to be to have your Nachi peeled for you? Do you know that the Nachi is the most promiscuous fruit in the whole world? One finger in that is taking his clothes off for you. It's the easiest thing to peel. Nonsense. No more got to peel you. Ridiculous. Now, what every trip is just full of nonsense. Show us your logic. Sure. But you seriously aren't, Craig. It's like, show us your lunch, man. I pull it out. He said, oh my God! Your mom got you 2 liters of ice cream for lunch! Craig. No. That is not ice cream! Touch it! It's warm! It's a milkshake! Well, open it up, Craig. Now, I think also I'm at fault here, because I have the knowledge. I should not have told that poor child to open up my ice cream tray lunchbox, knowing full well that unlike a Spider-Man lunchbox with 4 corners, an ice cream tray does not have the structural integrity needed to transport food groups in 2 taxis a year. By the time you reach your destination, there's a problem. There's a problem in there. That poor child will crowd thing. Oh, what people do, where you are right now? Because I know that trauma is still with you, my friend. What you didn't realize is that basically this is not lunch per se, but the leftovers from my 7 colors. We said 7 colors, but the original was several colors. It's basically, we all know the several colors. You have it on a Sunday. The colors are the rice, pumpkin, the meat, rich people. The meat is the color, the cabbage, John 14, that's like 3 colors. What is that actually, John 14? Oh, I'm such a black. Does that have a name? I just called the whole Saturday John 14. What is it, guys? Ooh. Close the doors. Let's figure this out. Coleslaw. The coleslaw. Is that what the coleslaw is? John 14. Oh, stop it, man. So now, as much as my mother, she is not putting my lunch in a Spider-Man lunchbox. I know she loves me because she's putting it into the ice cream tray, but she's being very deliberate about how she does it. So the yellow rice, she puts that in first and packs it right up against right up against the side, right? Puts that, go to place. Face is turning that way, and then, yeah, I see the corner, it's the rice now. And I never understood why is it facing that way. Up until I saw what she puts in next. Now, you must remember, we live a cat. So what do you plant? A pass. What spinach I do? I don't know what the grounding location has that makes spinach grow so well, but it's there. And that spinach is a survivor. It's tough, but don't mess with that one. That thing can stab you. Literally, it's got a little fur that stabs you before you wash it. But the rice, I was wondering, why is the rice frightened? Until I saw. She brings the kasi spinach, right in the it does spinach. What comes next? The butternut. Unfortunately, the butternut is the butter. She said squash. Butternut is very funny. The butternut. If we all being honest, it's like that one cousin who really didn't know he's actually a boy. That's butternut. And then you're going to put poor butternut, unexpected, he's keeping himself, flamboyant as ever. You're going to put him with the yellow rice and the kasi spinach there. He said, oh. So then, fine. You take my back. Then next one, the meat, thank you, yeah. But the meat, now, because it's after, now this is the next day is packing, packing at night for the next day. Now my chicken always had the bite mark of my drunk uncle who comes in here. The things are dished up already. This plate is there. I can see his plate is in the one drawer. We didn't have a microwave. It was in the one drawer. Now, one drawer used to freak me out so much because I thought that's where our rats slept. In my mind, like, don't put anything in the one drawer. Anyway, his food was in the one drawer. You can, because now it's cold, the gravy, you can tell that there was before meat. Because now, remember, it's the whole. Uncle, you had yours. Always bites it, and then my chicken for school has bite marks. Sit there, and then there's a very unfortunate one for everybody involved. I don't know if he's to blame per se, because it's inside him. But the meat, now, because it's outside, now this is the next day is packing, packing at night for the next day. Now my chicken was school has bite marks. Sit there, and then there's a very unfortunate one for everybody involved. I don't know if he's to blame per se, because it's inside him. But the meat, now, because it's outside him. Beetroot! Ah! If Beetroot was a nation, it would be Zulu. I'm Zulu too, but the way Beetroot is, when Beetroot is violent and when Beetroot is not afraid of anyone. Beetroot came into their lunch bottle. For no reason, everything is purple now. Because of Beetroot. Pray is opening. We just got to school. We just got there. There hasn't even been assembly yet. I'm still shaking from my last bus ride. I don't know what's happening inside the 2-liter ice cream. Poor boy, he opens it. He must have opened it on the wrong end. Because he caused a stampede. He opened it, 3 purple chicken feet popped out. Now it's a double whammy. I was explaining why I got chicken feet. And goodness me, why are the chicken feet purple? But those were fun times. So I'm very happy now. I'm remarried from my very famous divorce. What a thing. What a thing. The black people know about it. I'm black people famous. On SABC1. Zant's Magic. I'm not a fake net or Eastern Mosaic yet, but we'll get there. So my divorce was talked about quite a lot. Blame being thrown around as if the divorce was my fault. Right, my fault. And said Trevor Kumbi is divorced because Trevor Kumbi is doing drugs. Did I do drugs? A little bit. Listen. Sorry, I was an addict for a while. I was addicted to proper stuff. I was addicted to heroin and cocaine. I've been clean for 11 years now, which is a good thing. I was remarking on the fact that I did a real drugs, like the stuff you see me done now. Social movement, I smoke something called Nyaope. What is in that thing? It's Taha, Mangat, ARVs. I don't know about anything. The ladies are about to put a blonde hair in Nyaope. Don't do that. No. There's a powder from plasma screens. Why is there no plasma? Think about it. How many rooms have we been in without? Oh. Sorry, I get too excited sometimes. I'm surprised there's no plasma screen. Anyway, there's a powder that they smoke from the plasma screens. Now, the combination of all these drugs make them speak a certain way. If you've spoken to an old head, so you have. They want me then. Now I said, no me, madam. No me, madam. No me, madam means whatever you have, uncle. But what, would you like some clothes? No me, madam. Would you like some money? No me, madam. How much? 13 rand 74? No me, madam. And their legs never seem to work right, but their feet are always firmly planted on the ground. You think they're about 4, but you. These guys, two of them, no pants, broke into my house. Well, they didn't get into the house, they got onto the property, okay? Because I've got it's a 6-foot wall, and then I added, I added 2 more feet of electric fence. Cost me 30,000 rand. I had no idea that Naupe heads can outsmart a 30,000 rand electric fence with the use of a blanket. Those guys are like, get out. They were inside the yard. I was like, what? Crazy. Luckily, I had laser beams, floodlights, alarm, cameras. It went off and they ran off. Okay? Now they've run off. Now I have to deal with this. I'm new in the suburbs, okay? I'm brand spanking new in the suburbs. They haven't even given me my complimentary K-Way jacket for the neighborhood watch. Don't have it. Long story long, I walk out. I live in a cul-de-sac, okay? In a cul-de-sac with 3 other families, all Afrikaans. Just me, a new black guy. Walk out into the cul-de-sac. My 3 Afrikaans neighbors are there before ADT and before SAPS. I'm like, Johan, Frick, Pete, Harley. You're like, how'd you guys get here? Before the cops or ADT. They're like, oh no, it's in the WhatsApp group. Johan, Pete, Frick, WhatsApp group. Oh, sorry, we didn't think we should put you in just yet. Whatever, it's fine. Wait for the cops. While we're waiting for the cops, Johan, Pete, and Frick, I noticed there's a huge difference between us here. Not a racial thing. It's just that Johan, Pete, and Frick are in full pajamas. Full. Just moved from Inochi. It's frowned upon for a fully grown man to wear pajamas in a location. Trust me, there's history of people getting burnt. Tires. Stuff. Like, you know what? Beat Frick. That's pajamas. Frick, you went a little bit too far. Because Frick, Johan and Pete have got the full pajamas. Top, bottom, bedroom slippers, and a gown. Frick has got all of them, top, bottom, down, slippers, and then he just had to then show off, added the little flimsy hat. I'm standing there thinking, okay, the cops are on their way. Then it dawned on me, I'm going to look like a criminal. These guys are all in full pajamas. I'm here in tracksuit pants, a white beater vest, and formal school shoes on my head. Oh, anyway. The criminals, I've got them on video. They ran away, obviously, but every criminal comes back to the scene of the crime. They came back 2 weeks later to the scene of the crime. But to my front door this time, ooh, the liver. Oh, doesn't sound right, this liver. That's me. I'm trying to accommodate you, sir. You didn't give me hit well. Oh, the liver. Oh, whatever. They came back to my front door, 2 more overheads, right up to my front door. I'm watching them from the inside. The camera footage is on my iPad. Look at these idiots. Children, front door. Ding dong! Ding dong! Ding dong! I get pissed off. I open the door. I'm like, what are you doing? I don't even own a doorbell. They're like, oh. Story long. This I'm going to want. Let's do it with our mouths. I'm like, you two are idiots and criminals. I've got you on video breaking into my backyard. I will call the cops and have you arrested right now. Now wait. What? We just want to sell you something. And I did nothing I could possibly want to buy from the two of you. Saw you breaking into my backyard. Now we want to sell you this outdoor camp. I'm like, yes, I don't need an outdoor camp from you. I've got an outdoor camp in my backyard. They're like, come on, come on. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's me for now. Thank you very much for having me. And if the professor is true to his word, I'll be back in November for 2 days. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I don't have the guts to follow in this footsteps. Yeah, but please, give you a big round of applause. Okay, so we were supposed to finish at 12, but we're still here. And surprise, surprise. Vice Chancellor Professor Nyabula is on the house. Thank you for taking the time. I was telling the team that we will find a way, and there you are. Please join me. She needs no introduction, ladies and gentlemen, and I had said to her, we are the portfolio in the Vice Chancellor's office, and we've been talking about time to get you had to come and talk to you. We missed you in January, and thank you very much for making the time.
I thought coleslaw was Psalm 23. I've only learned today because it's John 14. So we learn from humor as we learn from text and what we in universities do. Good afternoon. Dibela, Sangoman, Abshin. I'm truly appreciative for the opportunity to come in to share with you as the portfolio that has been in the forefront of imagining the strategy of the university. One of the critical outputs that you've made is really to helping us as a university to ensuring that we review our strategy, we align it into the aftermath of COVID-19, as well as the agility in the convergence of technologies. Sometimes people use the 4th industrial revolution, others use the 4.0 industrialization, others use different concepts. But you as the team have helped us to really be thinking how the pillars interface and how they enable us as a university to expressing ourselves. The second aspect that I want to address you on or to thank you for is really to ensuring that you identify at all times the prospects and risks of the university and what interventions we have to put in place. Even as we speak, we are contending with a large risk of a report that has been commissioned by the Minister of Higher Education, whose responses you have helped us to drawing and sharing as a response of council to the minister. And I really want to thank you as the team for the work that you've done in that regard. And we think it speaks highly to the work that the university is doing, including the contradictions, risks, and sometimes non-compliance that we have to face as a university. So it's quite good that this is the team where the confluence or the convergence of these aspects of being a university are located. The intellectual efforts to grapple with the nature of universities in the digital systems are also an area that you've been helping the teaching and learning and research engagement to thinking about. And I think it's quite an important aspect for us to asking the questions, what does it mean to being a university that we are? How are we addressing the integration of these economies of online e-learning, but also using the facilities that the university is having? Finally, colleagues, there are multiple risks that the university is facing, where the productivity and optimal participation by staff and students must be harnessed. And it is this particular community in here, Professor Ndlovu, that has to help us. I'm also aware that the work on not just the revision of the strategy, but of the delegations of authority, as well as Mr. Muraygan is here, who has been commissioned by Professor Ndlovu to journey with us on that. This is quite an important area of governance which we need to be grappling with. And finally, Professor Lalendle, the Council of Higher Education final report is out. You have been, alongside with teaching and learning, working hard on it to ensure that we represent ourselves as the university and the work that is done openly, transparently on the assessments therein required. It is quite exciting that despite the negative media on UNISA, that the formal assessments of the university, formal assessments that are transparent, that have engaged the staff, students of the university, but also which have dealt with multiple environments within the university, speak to 4 criteria that are important for universities that are working. First, the sustainability issue. It confirms that the sustainability of the university in terms of its finances and financial management are intact. And that's something that we have to celebrate, because through UNEMA Mavuno is your tracking and tracing our risk systems that's in compliance alongside with the, why do I forget your name? Voices. Yes, I needed the surname, not the first name. But alongside with those compliance measures are the second aspect that you measure, the quality or efficiency of the university, is about the quality of the academic provision. And the Council of Higher Education report says the academic provision of the university is intact. There are not many, or there are no qualifications that have been de-recognized. Is that not so? At least in this tenure. And that it will be important that we strengthen our digital systems so that this quality is enhanced. The last aspect is around student support, academic, co-curricular, and co-curriculum. This is an area of challenge. We have sought to developing a joint operations team to enabling us to ensuring that we comply with our enrollment management, with our numbers of responses to the students, but also with marking. And we have put analytics through your office or through your department to ensuring that those analytics enable us to have our pulse at hand and to know what are the challenges of the university and how the decision systems must be entailed. These colleagues give me hope that you as the team, but the university staff and students who are working hard to ensuring that the dignity and the sustainability of the institutional dimensions of the university are still propelled. I do this with the understanding that the challenges we face are the challenges we'll overcome together. I do this with the understanding that the report that's before us is already under review, but the responses by council and management are available. I also do this with the confidence that the university at all times, at all material times, even in spite of the challenges it faces, must ensure that it continues, that the business continuity is affirmed, is asserted, because we found the university, we will all live the university. It's 150 years old. It's an asset of our society. It is a community, but also an epistemic institution that will still thrive, survive, be sustainable, even after we are 100 years old ourselves. So I want to wish you all the best. I want to encourage the collegiality that I've seen amongst yourselves as you work towards investing your expertise and talent, your chemistry, and your availability for this university to perform it well. I want to also appreciate the developments that the university is making, and that in these developments that we're collectively making, we will hold each other accountable. We will be transparent. We will ensure that the compliance to the policies of the university and the laws of the land are available. I want to also state that for us as management, we are open to either the Hawks or the SIU or any of the South African police services to investigate and interrogate us if there are assumptions of corruption, maladministration, or even not managing the university as we need to do or as the law requires us to do. This is very important, for we need to assure our staff and students that we are committed to a functional university that is run within the ordinances of our society as it does its own policies. This is quite an important assertion of openness and transparency that I think all managers within the University of South Africa must be open and willing to, so that we can salvage the integrity and the reputational harm that has been presented on the university. Finally, colleagues, I'm hoping in this year of 150 years of the university, in this month of June, that's called, that the integration system in the lunchbox that Trevor was talking about will happen, that we will have fun, that we will appreciate the work that has so far been done as we invite ourselves into solving those persistent problems of the university. I hope on the 26th of June, you'll all be present at the university to celebrate this august institution that's larger than all of us, which has been bequeathed us by our forebears and which we will have to hand over to next generations of intellectual students and of South Africans who would like to make it beautiful. So I wish you all the best, and I hope the entertainment that you have and the cohesion that you've shown each other will continue to manifest. Welcome and enjoy yourselves. I realize you've already had your food, so there's no opportunity to say bon appetit. Enjoy yourselves. I appreciate the moment.
Okay. Well, it's been a great morning, a bit of learning, a bit of fun, and of course, we've got a lot of work ahead of us. convinced me that we have managed to find a way of talking to the city to give us an extra time. So, but we talk about it because we do believe as a conservative institution. At the time they've given us did not allow us to be able to consult sufficiently. And therefore, it becomes important that we find a way of ensuring that we don't leave anybody behind in this process. We don't implement, we rely on portfolios and partners to do the implementation. If we don't engage them appropriately, they will feel left behind. So we hope NAMCOM will also agree with us in this process. But ladies and gentlemen, well, we don't have lunch for sure. But at least we had breakfast. And it was all about. The whole idea was that since we more or less in and out of the university, it's always good to keep in touch and get together and they will engage in some of the things that are crucial. And one of them was called into Morena to talk us through what's the thinking behind how best to implement moving forward. Once approved the delegation of authority, which has been a bit of work, but we are happy with the outcome of the process. And so every year, Paul has an idea of what is expected of them in terms of moving forward. But let me thank Mr. Morena, the Vice Chancellor, first of all, for coming and not forgetting Prof. Masaya, who's been calling me and I couldn't answer his phone. And of course, Trevor for being a good sport and just make us laugh for a while. And Mr. Morena for of course working and thinking about what next. But all of you for making it today. And I hope that when we do get together again in November, in terms of reviewing where we are by then, but also looking at what the VC is saying, what are the next steps come 2024, and the things that are contained in our strategy, how do we assist, but also ensure that we actually achieve the things that we've set out to do, which is very crucial and important. The outcome of the audit itself is a sign that the university, our university, is actually working. And we want you to carry that with you, because some of the negative media out there suggest otherwise, but you know better than anybody. You are the ones who actually carry this university, and therefore we would like you to do so, continue doing so. And I thank you for coming. Others didn't want to stay here, so. Which video? The one is played but the thing is that we're done for today. I see it's going to stay.